Hello everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today I'm doing a video that's probably not the most pleasant one I've done. It's about Iberia Airlines. I had read online that it wasn't the greatest airline in the world, and I had an opportunity to go on 3 recent flights, one in regular economy and 2 in business. Sometimes people are harsher than it is, but in my opinion, yeah, they're not really very good airlines. So I'm just go through my details. So my first flight was in economy, and it was because I had a late flight, so they had to just get me on the next flight. So because one of my flights was late, they put me in the last row, which I can figure out that's the worst possible seats that you can get. So I know how it feels. But the actual seats itself weren't that great either. Like in the other rows, they weren't very good. As you can see, it's not a lot of leg room. In the last row, there's no window. And one of the surprising things is that they don't even offer water. I've never seen that actually in any other airline before. Maybe I don't fly budget airlines, but I've never seen that where they actually don't just hand out water. That you can ask for water, but that's kind of a weird thing in my opinion. And I've never seen it before. I will preface my review by saying that all 3 were very short flights, an hour and a bit, and so maybe they use different planes for longer haul, but this is no kidding the leg room. I'm not kind of trying to, stretch my legs out here. No, that's how much leg room you have. It's really, really tight. And I'm not a really huge person, but I can imagine if you were a really big person, like over 6 feet, it'd be like difficult to get in the seat and get a backpack or anything underneath your seat. There's no possible way. So yeah, these are very kind of older planes, not a lot of really budget in my opinion. Just a short video of me entering the plane again. It is a pretty tight, cramped plane. And I don't think that actually the staff do very much to help out. I guess they're not rude, but I wouldn't say they're overly helpful. They can't kind of do their own thing, and I don't know. It doesn't seem like they're actually doing very much, but maybe that's the service standard in all 3 flights. Even in business, I didn't feel they were like overly exuberant to assist people, and so I would say their service standard is not, to a level which I would normally expect. And I fly a lot of Air Canada, and I think Air Canada's service is quite good, but it's not really known as the best airline for service. But even at that, they made Iberia look like just night and day. So yeah, not a lot of service. You'd think that this is the same picture that I took before. No, this is my second flight in business class. So there's not much difference between business and economy. I think the only difference was it was 2 seats instead of 3 seats on every side. So yeah, and then you'll see in the last plane, it was a much more modern plane. Actually, the seats were a little bit bigger, but no, there wasn't a lot to business. So this is what you get for your snack on business, not economy, business. And so I know it's a short flight, but yeah, it's a ham and cheese sandwich, but it's on a plate, I guess. But yes, it's quite underwhelming for business. I think even for economy, this would be kind of on a longer haul, that would be mildly disappointing, but on business, it's definitely not what you'd expect. But again, it could be a short flight, it could be the time of day, I'm not sure, but it wasn't exactly thrilling. Little interlude here with some pictures from the aircraft and also from the airport in Barcelona. And one thing is that most of the planes, you'll be like this. You'll actually go out and walk on the plane. And that's unusual. I guess it's kind of neat. You can go outside, but actually then also if it's raining, it's kind of a little bit difficult. And actually if it's cold, it's kind of unusual. But that's what I found with all the planes, that they actually usually, they don't have a kind of a walkway. You just go and walk out to the plane. And I guess if it's raining, it's kind of a little bit unusual. Here is our third experience on business. And you see this in your plane, so you can see that it is a bit more spacious in business. Having said that, There was only like 2 rows of business, so there's only 8 seats in business in this one. And we were lucky that there was no other person in business class in this flight, so we got to get a real nice, kind of spacious interior. Because there's no one sitting next to me, I could take the tray from the side. But again, it's not that spacious. And again, this space was left for just either a muffin or a croissant. So it's quite an underwhelming breakfast. So all in all, a fairly underwhelming experience, even in business. I'm not looking forward to going back to Spain on Iberia Airlines. Yeah, it's really, really budget. And I don't think the planes are, at least in my experience, are old, and the service is actually not very good. They're not rude, they're not, but at the same point, they're not totally helpful. I wouldn't say it's the best service, and that's across 3 flights. So that's kind of my review of Iberia Airlines. Unfortunately, I could not be more positive about it, but I think most other people who have said negative things about them, I think they are correct. Hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, safe travels.